guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna sew a sweatshirt jacket. You probably saw in the last video I did make a sweatshirt pants, and today we're gonna sew a sweatshirt jacket. It's kind of a matching one because I'm using the same fabric, but there are two sewing patterns, and if you like the sewing pattern, they're down below in my shop, so just go ahead and check them out. There are also so many more projects and cute sewing patterns, so you can just go ahead and check them out. They are also not expensive or so. I'm gonna use the size small. You have this size guide in, and just go ahead and focus on the chest area and then find your size. Also the length, you are gonna have two options for a length. Also gonna get always the printed version and the Beamer document, so there are two options, whatever you prefer. I am gonna sew size small here, and I used about 1.80 meters, so almost 2 meters, but I would really recommend you to get at least 2 meters for the size small, because I haven't had enough fabric for the pockets, which I cut it out the last, so I had to sew scratches onto each other, so they're a big piece of fabric. And the sweatshirt jacket has two pockets in the front with a zipper, and it also has long sleeves and a little collar which goes higher, so it's like a sporty look. It also has a waistband which you can like easily make, also as an elastic one, and you do have elastic cuffs, so it's more like a sporty, elegant look. What I'm looking forward, I would really like if you give this video a big thumbs up and maybe subscribe. So I would say let's start. Okay, that's everything you're gonna need. You basically need your two pockets, which I haven't had enough fabric, how you can see, so I had to use my scratches and put them together. Also I put some fleece lining on, so it's nice and flat. You don't have to use fleece lining, but if you have some, maybe you can use some. It just makes it a little bit more stiffer. You're also gonna need a zipper. I'm having this one, it's 55 centimeter long. And then for the pockets, this zipper is 20 centimeter long, but you're only gonna need 15 centimeter long one. And you're all gonna need twice the front, obviously, once the back. Yes, I haven't had enough fabric, so I had to put them out twice, put them together. Also the same with the collar. I made the same, so I cut it out twice and then I sewed them along because just I wasn't really having enough fabric. So the collar you're gonna need once, and then for the cuff you're gonna need two of them. That's just one, and also an elastic which is about 12 to 15 centimeter long. Then you're gonna need a waistband, which you're gonna find also sewing pattern, and twice the sleeve you're gonna need. So the pockets are right here. I did iron them already, and you have your folding line right here, so you can just go fold that and then top stitch right away. So that's one option, and then you're going to put them onto the marks, and you can just top stitch them all the way around besides of the front, so you can just use it like that. But I thought I want to have some zippers on, so I have here my zippers, and they are a little bit long, but that's not that problem. And what I'm going to do where the folding line is, I am just going to go ahead and cut this line so I can put the zipper between that. So I'm just going to cut all the way to the other side, which I normally would fold. But and I'm going to do the same with the other one, but I'm just going to show you one and then you can do the same on the other one. So we have here the two pieces which I just also cut it off, and I'm going to put them right sides together. And whenever you comes to a zipper, just open the zipper and then it's easier to sew it on. And I am going to leave just a centimeter off and sew them right sides on. I have a zipper foot on my sewing machine, so I'm coming really close to the edge. Make sure you're able to close it all the way also, and then I'm going to fold that up. Also I am going to top stitch that. So that's how it's gonna look just right now, and I'm gonna do the same with the part I just cut it off. So I'm putting them right sides together, make them as long as they are from the other one. I'm gonna open this and just gonna head and put that onto the sewing machine, put them right sides together how I just said, and I am gonna sew along. After it, I'm going to close the zipper and then I'm going to fold that up. Also going to top stitch that. That's how it's going to look, really nice and clean. And then on the back, it also looks nice and clean. Make sure to always the zipper on so it's not like folded upwards or so it's all nice and flat. And what I'm going to do just now, I am going to cut off the zipper part just right here with the normal scissor, but when it's closed all the way. So I'm going to cut that off and I'm going to save these parts. So I'm just going to sew along like multiple times so it's not going to get open, and then you just cut it the zipper. So the pocket is basically done now. We have the zipper on. You can open and close that really nice. We did shorten it zipper because mine was too long. So, and you do have your marks right onto the fabric. So just fold everything around like a centimeter the top and just pin everything on here. Whenever you pin the pocket right onto it, make sure to have 1 centimeter seam alone and it's folded over. Maybe you do want to iron it first, that's totally fine, and it just makes the fabric a little bit more like stiff and even. And then you have your marks on right on the fabric, so you can just go ahead and pin that. You have the bottom ones, and then for the zipper, where the zipper is going to be, there are the other two. Whenever you put the pocket on, make sure not to stretch the pocket or the fabric down below, so everything looks nice and even. Now that I have pinned everything, I'm just going to go and sew all the way around with a stitch. And when it comes to the zipper, I'm opening a little bit and then sew along, close that, turn the foot, and also sew here. So you're really sewing all the way around. That's how the finished pocket is going to look. I did top stitch all the way around. How you're going to see, that's how it's going to look from the outside, and from the inside it's just going to look like that. So both pockets are done. I really like them and I really like how they turned out with the zippers. So it's all safe. Everything you put in there is really safe and nothing can fall out, which I really like. And I did serge all the way around, how you can see right here. I did it with the front, I did it with the back, and I also did it with the 2 sleeve parts, and the other stuff we don't have to just for now. And what I'm going to do, I'm taking my back piece and put this front piece right sides together just like that. And then I'm going to sew the side seams just right here, and after I'm just going to go ahead and pin the sleeves on. So the shoulder seams are attached. So here we have the sleeve, and you have on your sleeve, you have marks. So the 2 marks comes onto the back and the 1 marks come onto the front piece. So just make sure to put them on correctly. And what I have right here is I am going to put them left side out. So basically the pretty side looks down to the table, and then I'm having to check where the marks are, just like that. And I can just put the marks onto the marks, just how I'm gonna do it right now. And I'm gonna pin that here. You can put and use some needles if you like, or you can just also pin that, it's up to you. And then I'm just gonna pin all the way around, sew that in. So I'm gonna sew right here. And then I'm going to do exactly the same with the other side. But here I'm going to spread the seam so it's not too thick and it's all fine. So I'm just going to sew all the way around and do the same with the other sleeve sides. And then I'm putting them right sides together and sew the side seam and also the sleeve, and then you can also try it on. After I sewed the side seams and the sleeves together, you can turn them inside out and also try them on, and I just did try them on, and I have to say I'm loving the fit. It's so cute. It's perfectly on my shoulder. It's perfectly wide. It's not too big, but it's also a little bit cozy. And I really have to say I'm surprised about that fabric, because with the pants I thought maybe it's a little bit more like in a chill vibe and not like super sporty, but this one is just classy. But if the jacket does not fit you really well, so for example the sleeves are too big or so, you can always make them smaller just by making the side seam or the sleeve just a little bit smaller. Or for the bag, if the bag is too big for you or whatever, you can always change stuff up by now, because after sewing cuffs and waistband on, it's gonna be really difficult to do so. For now I would say let's start and do the collar one, and to the same moment we are gonna do the waistband and the zipper. So that's just one thing you're gonna do in one step, and that's a big step, so I'm gonna do that right now because then it's done and we only have to put the cuffs on. And I did decide that I'm not gonna put an elastic onto the bottom from the jacket, but if you want to have an elastic, make the elastic a quarter smaller than the waistband is. So for the collar you do have your marks and you're just putting them right sides together. I'm gonna pin them from the outside, so obviously right sides together. I'm also gonna pin the side seams just like that, and it's gonna end up perfectly with the front, and that's something we also wanting. For example, if the collar is not fitting because you changed something on the back mid or whatever, you can just go ahead and cut that off. And I am gonna sew the collar right side on just like that. I'm gonna leave the other stuff all off, and I'm gonna do exactly the same with the having the waistband right here. Again, I have my marks, so I'm gonna put them just right sides together, and again they also end up perfectly. So what I'm gonna do, I'm putting the waistband on just by now like that, and I'm also gonna put the collar on just here, and then we're gonna put the zipper on. It might be a little bit tricky, but it just looks tricky, and then it's actually really easy to make. How you see, I did put the zipper on already, and the camera did not film everything, or like there was just a problem, but I'm just gonna tell you a little bit what I did. So the collar obviously is made, and also the waistband is on. It's gonna look all nice and clean, and with the zipper you're gonna need the zipper just by now. And what I did from the top part, because the collar has a height from 7 centimeter, I take my measurement and I have to measure 7 centimeter, but I'm not gonna measure from the top part. I'm just gonna measure from like the top part and then 1 centimeter upwards. So basically from here it's 7 centimeter downwards then. And I did mark it with the marker which goes away by heat, and I did exactly the same onto the other. And that's the point which goes right onto the seam right here, so I'm gonna put that on, and I use some pins. And over here from the top part I'm gonna fold that like to the one side. I'm going to fold that to the right side, so it's all out of the way when we fold it. And I did the same onto the bottom part, so which you can just see here, but for here I did made of about 1/2 centimeter, so we can turn that really easy. And then I measured down, so it's basically when you have a size about 2.5 centimeter when you measure up here, because the waistband is 3 centimeters long, and this measurement is also going to go right onto the seam right here. The same thing I did onto the other side, so they are all matching up really well. And you're putting the zipper right sides on, how you see. So when you turn that just like that, they have to be into each other and the teeth has to look at each other. But when you put them on, the teeth from the zipper has to go to the side seam, so then it's impossible to make them wrong on. And I'm just gonna pin them really well. Don't stretch the fabric, just pin the 2 marks which you made and then pin the rest, and so it looks all nice and clean. So I'm gonna sew from the top all the way to the bottom. I'm going to use a presser foot for a zipper, so I'm going to come really close here to the seams. And then we can, so how you see the zipper is on, and you can just go ahead and close it to check if the lines are on it. If not, you can change it, and I have to say it's like really perfectly ending up. So I'm really proud about that, because sometimes it fits, sometimes it's not, so it just takes a little bit of time to really make it. So with a little bit practice, you are gonna make it, I'm promising. If not, just take your time and seam rip it, and just gonna go again and make that. So for right here, for the hem, I'm having it like that. So I'm gonna fold that upwards, and then I'm gonna fold 1 centimeter just like that. So you see I have this curve, and I'm taking some pins and just gonna pin that downwards, and so right on top here, and then I'm gonna turn it inside out. The same with the collar, so I am gonna have it like that, pull it downwards, and putting this 1 centimeter up, so it's just onto the line. And then I'm going to put the needle in and sewing right here. You can just cut this little zipper part off, or you can leave it on. It depends how big your fabric is. I'm just going to leave it how it is, and you can now turn that out, push it out, and it looks really, really nice. And you have it also like onto here, nice. And we are going to fold that. That's just a part we do in just a little bit. And for the hem it's the same, so you can cut the corner off if the fabric is too thick. I'm just going to leave it, push it out, and you really nicely have this 1 centimeter up right here, or a ½ centimeter, which you measured. So it looks really clean and nice, and I'm just going to do exactly the same with the other side, how I did that. And what we're going to do now, we do the hem and the collar, and we can do this at the same time. So here we start with the hem. I'm going to push everything down, so I'm working only with the collar, and I'm starting with the sides, with the back mid. So I am gonna fold this 1 centimeter, and I'm folding the seam from the collar, which we attach to the back. I'm folding it upwards. And then I'm going to put the pins right in here, so it's all nice and flat. And I'm just going to do this also with the side seam, folding it a centimeter, or how much seam alone you made. So it's up to you. And I'm just going to pin all the way around. Also with the zipper, you can now turn that, and folding it this 1 centimeter onto the collar, and so you have no seam seen. So for here I'm just gonna sew on top, so it's fine and cute from the outside and also from the inside. And with the waistband I'm gonna do exactly the same, and I'm gonna fold that 1 centimeter and just pinning it right on top of the seam, so we kind of sandwiching the seams. I did sew the waistband on just like now, and I did also made the same with the collar part, so that's done. You have your sleeve right here, it's closed all the way, and then you have your cuff, which looks just like that, and it looks really long besides the short elastic part. But what you're gonna need is, you're just gonna have to fold that right sides together, and then also putting this just on one side and folding it right into that, and you're gonna sew right here. So, and that's how it's gonna look, and we just gonna turn that now and folding it in half. It's gonna be wrinkly, don't worry about that, that's just normal. You can always stretch it and just close these open edges with just a normal stitch. And I'm also going to use the serger for that as the top one, so everything looks nice and clean, and then we can put that also onto the jacket. So that's how the cuff is gonna look, and that's the armhole. And what I'm gonna do, I'm putting them right sides together, and we have this one seam. So, and then we have this one seam just right here, and I'm gonna put that right on top of the seam from the arm, where we close the arm with. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to have it like that, and then I'm going to stretch it. The cuff is a little bit wrinkly still, how you see right here, but it's so it's not straight. But that's how we want it. And just going to take, like I'm stretching it, and I'm taking just the pins right here. And then I'm also going to do it just onto the other side. That right sides together, and I'm going to sew all the way around. Okay guys, that's it for today. I really hope you liked today's video. So maybe you give this video a big thumbs up, and maybe subscribe so you don't miss any other video. And also the pattern you're gonna find down below in the description box, how I said in the beginning. So go ahead and check that out, and yeah, see you in the next video. Bye!